On the other hand, Jeffrey Epstein is still dead.
Every day.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't buy it. He's now reaping what he's sowing. He should do what you say, Abby, and say like
Patel and Bongino are not doubling down on the conspiracy theories about Jeffrey Epstein and so on and so forth. That's why.
Isn't this what you want out of a public servant?
My name's Jasmine. I go by Jizzy Creams. And this is my Abby Phillips sessions. You guys go.
In government, I see the shrug from Ashley. I know plenty of people, when they have those jobs, 6 to 7 those are good hours.
That's right. That's right. I guess government employees do work hard, huh? They don't need to be doged as much. Look, I mean, I'm glad he's acknowledging that this work is hard work, that the people that do it are actually committed and public servants. But like, this is the smallest violin I'm playing for him.
What?
So it's Cash Patel and Bongino, the two big man babies, one of many, one of a handful, are crying and complaining about too many hours and the job's too hard. They wanted the labels and they wanted the look and they wanted the role, but they didn't want to do the part. They didn't want to do the job. They're not even qualified. They're not even good at the, I mean, they're the least professional people to even take these jobs. But okay, so they're crying about it and they're whining that's too hard. So let's see.
The way, when you serve in politics, you need thick skin because it's not like celebrity or something. 50% of the population hates you, and some of them, small fringe, want to kill you. It doesn't matter what party you're in. It's a tough gig. And so I admire anybody that serves regardless of their party. They get in there, they get blowtorched the first day. And I think it's a lesson in life, but you got to have the kahunas to do that. You want to really want to do that.
He was one of the people when he was on the outside.
Does he not realize
basically lambasting the people who worked where he is working right now. And one of the reasons that
maybe it's karma coming back at him.
I mean, look, one of the reasons he's so frustrated is because his own people are upset that Patel and Bongino are not doubling down on the conspiracy theories about Jeffrey Epstein and so on and so forth. That's why.
Isn't this what you want out of a public servant? Someone who's willing to go in, look at a situation, analyze the facts, and then be willing to tell even your own people?
Oh God, Scott, can you just not be a weenie for one day? Come on, seriously?
Hard truths? I mean, I think we ought to be applauding this. First of all, he's being real.
Applauding?
These jobs are hard, and I agree. Public service is not easy, and it does take a toll on families. But more importantly here, look what he's being criticized for. Analysis and truth-telling, even when he knows he's going to get criticism from his own side of the ball. So
he's being criticized for being a hypocrite, for spreading lies, for being a little boy, being a little conspiracy theorist that was clearly exaggerated, and it's just, Scott.
Look,
Scott.
I've been a fan of this appointment. I like Cash Patel as well. And, they've been in a short period of time. They've been put in some tough situations. But I still think most Republicans have confidence in these picks. And I think these kinds of interviews, like showing the real side of it, are actually helpful.
I mean, to your point earlier, though, wouldn't it be nice if he said, I regret my role
That's right.
in pushing these conspiracies. And I was wrong.
Exactly.
And I wish that I had not done that, because now he has a bunch of people, Alex Jones, Glenn Beck, Tucker Carlson, all
All of his
asking,
little butt
where's
buddies.
the beef? And the truth
And
is, it
you
was
know
never
what?
there.
To branch off of that point, it's so interesting because, especially as a full grown-ass adult, wouldn't you think, oh, this is so stressful, I don't have anything to bring back to my buddies to keep these conspiracy theories, these games going. You can tell by the videos of them, too. They look scared. They look devastated because they're like, oh, we don't have anything to bring back to our friends. So, and you would think, they would grow up and say, hey, you guys, we didn't find anything. It sucks. We were wrong. 10 years ago, this would have sounded really ridiculous, but today this is probably more possible than any other time. I bet you anything they're avoiding just giving in simply because they don't want their friends to be like, oh, what? Cash is turning into a lib? Are they turning into libs? You know what I mean? I think literally that's it. Light bullying. I think that's what they're trying to avoid by being like, well, we're still looking. And it's like, you guys, grow up. You suck at your job. Just stop with these stories, these fairy tales. Just stop. Clearly, you guys are the head honchos of the FBI, and you guys haven't found anything. Then just tell your friends, hey, let's move on. I mean, seriously, you're avoiding being called a lib that hard?
begin
Jesus
with.
And they're like the
Christ,
dog that caught the car, because now they're saying, why are you being mean to me, even though they'd spent decades on their online shows talking about what they thought the government should be doing or what should be there.
Exactly,
And when
yep.
they go in, whether it's analysis and say that we haven't found anything, but we're going to keep looking. And I was watching the interview when we sent around the clips, and he was saying how, and he still, and this is what kind of bothered me, laying some meat out there for folks, like, well, you know, there could be this thing, and we're looking at this thing, and I don't want to mention any of the 3 cases, and it just gets people on his side riled up again to be disappointed in him
On the other hand, Jeffrey Epstein is still dead.
every day.
Yeah.
Look,
Okay.
one of the other parts of this, in that clip that we showed at the beginning, he's talking about the toll that it's taken on his family, which is a legitimate question. Amy McGrath, a former Senate candidate from Kentucky as well, Scott's
She
familiar.
lost by like 20 points, by the way.
She says this. I mean, can you imagine if a woman FBI director had made these comments?
For real,
I'm not against
dog.
showing emotion or one's personal side, but there is no way a woman in this position could say these things and not just be crushed for
So
it.
messed up.
What do you
It's a
say?
fair question.
Where's the lie? It's true. Like, okay.
He's such a weirdo.
We're all waiting for you on this one.
Let's just say anybody, if it was a Democrat and was like, oh, I'm working so hard, feel sorry for me, you guys would make fun of him, talk about jazz hands, right? Like you like to talk about people.
totally.
I don't buy it. He's now reaping what he's sowing. He should do what you say, Abby, and say, like, I might have opened a can of worms that I've investigated. There's no truth, these conspiracy theories, but
Can I translate?
That's the only sensible thing to do. So, like, quite literally, any other action that they take would be absolutely unreasonable, just senseless. Here comes Kevin with his stupid 2 cents.
Suck it up and stop whining. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
You
I mean,
said
look,
enough.
if you were, I think that there is some truth to the idea that
Close
if
but not
any
seen.
woman, and Trump appointee, Biden appointee, Obama appointee, in one of
Member of
these
Congress.
member of Congress, in one of these high-profile jobs, if they're going on national TV and complaining about how many hours they have to work, if you are a woman
real.
doing that,
forget government.
I don't know.
Doctor, nurse, mom, like anyone, the burden.
That's not how I read the interview. What I understood him to be saying was he was getting criticism from people saying, well, you're not working hard enough, or you're not in the office enough, or whatever it was. And he was simply saying, no, I can attest, we're in the office all the time. I didn't read it as
Scott.
whining or a bid for sympathy. I just read it as him answering the critics who were saying, you guys aren't putting in enough hours to get to the bottom of these
He
things.
said,
That's how
what
I
do you
read it.
people
Scott, you are such a little weenie. Why are you such a weenie? Clearly, I mean, Bongino was on Fox and Fools or whatever, almost in tears, crying, being like, "Oh, my wife wants to divorce me." Like he literally has been saying, "I don't like this job. I hate this job." And Scott, I'm gonna say something positive. I'm trying to say something positive every time I say something negative. I appreciate your innocence, like the whole, I'm taking the more innocent perspective, so I appreciate that as opposed to like cruelty. But you're just wrong. You're just wrong, Scott. God damn, you're such a little weenie.
Look like a human being under stress. That's kind of
That's
cool.
definitely part of it.
okay.
Yeah, and then
Well-
Kevin like undermining it. It's like, ugh.
I'm glad that there is grace enough for him
Quite
to be a
literally
human
feeding
being
into
under
the
stress.
stereotype.
But welcome to Washington, Mr. Bongino. In general,
Exactly. And it's like they act like tough shit, yet they're just crying. Yeah, they're just complaining about hours. It's so crazy. Cash Patel's like seriously so unprofessional. It's so annoying. He's so annoying to me. He's my least favorite of them all. He's been my least favorite. He's such a little punk. You know what? You know what Kevin O'Leary reminds me of actually? He reminds me of all of the kangaroos in Tank Girl. Because, one of them used to be a dog, so he's, like, kind of innocent, but then one of them used to be a cop, so his, like, little mood swings, Kevin O'Leary's little mood swings remind me of every single kangaroo in Tank Girl. Which is really interesting. Cash, he doesn't take anything seriously. He doesn't take anything serious, but yet he acts tough. And so when he has to be an adult for longer than, I don't know how many hours he's been, actually working and that he's complaining about, but it's like, now he's crying like a little baby. I swear to God. And the lengths that these little boys will go to just to avoid their friends, their little butt buddies, from saying, "Oh no, you're turning into a libtard," or whatever the heck they called it. Fucking, oh, it's so mature. But I will say this is definitely a better episode because it just feels, I don't know, it just feels satisfying to see Cash not having as much fun as he so heavily sports all the time, and Bongino not having as much fun. I mean, it does suck for his family, but it's like, you guys, grow up. What did you expect? These are things you should have considered before taking the job, instead of just jumping the gun, being like, yeah, I get to be the leader. And then, like, now you're like, gee, I don't like this anymore. I mean, I swear to God, this is just all toddlers. Everybody connected to Trump, all these people, they're just pure toddlers. Well, that was a great episode. I hope that you like my new Abby Phillip sessions. I hope you subscribe. And definitely leave some comments. I encourage any type of comment. I'm up for conversation. And yeah, like and subscribe.